So if you're someone that's very active, you're quite a sports person or sportsman, woman, and you like to run, jog a lot, you'll probably be after this style of open ear earbud because they hook over your ears, they stay in place, they're IP4, both of these, IPX4 water, sweat proof, rain proof. There's not going to be a problem for them, but it's their comfort and the fact that they're never going to come off your ears when you are training. So you're out for runs, you're jogging. I'm going to put all that to the test here with this comparison to find out which one of these should you get from Oladance. So there's the Oladance 2 and the Oladance Pro. I'm going to go over all of them, their specs, what they sound like, microphone quality, a little bit of a jog test with them, and I'll give you my thoughts on which one you should probably go for and why in this comparison. Right, so here they are side by side. There is quite a bit of difference with their cases, and that is because this case here with the OWS 2 does not have a battery within it. So we get the best battery life though, however, with the OWS 2 on a single charge versus the Pro, which I'll keep on the left all the time. So this model here, it's going to go for up to 19 hours on a single charge, and with the Pro model, because it's got the case that has a battery within it, it does last longer, it gives you more charges. But on a single charge, this model here is just 16 hours. So when you look at both of them here, you can see there is a difference in the design, the style of them, this one being a little bit more ergonomic, the Pro model, and I do find to be more comfortable. So the materials they have used in this, we've got medical grade silicone rubber on both of them, so they're not going to give you any skin rashes or problems like that. IPX4 on both of them, which is great. So sweat, rain, again, not an issue. And the open ear design of both of them is really comfortable. I mean, these are the most comfortable kind of earbuds, the style that you can get, and they're really good for runners. So I'll do a bit of a test later on, talk about that more, the comfort of them. But you can run with them. They're not going to go anywhere. Nothing's in your ear canal, so that's why they're super comfortable and also very healthy for your ears. There's nothing blocking them. So you can also hear background noises too. And you've got transparency with them with that, which is great. So the driver's different here because the OWS driver is a 16.5 millimeter driver, and I'll talk about how they sound soon in the other section here of this comparison. This driver here is a different shape, so it's rectangular. It's 23 by 10 millimeters. So they are quite different too in the way they approach the controls here, that we have touch controls with the OWS 2. So it's capacitive touch, and you can scroll up and down for the gestures. Both of them do support multi-point, so you can pair up other devices with them, and I'll show you the app too later on. But here with the OWS 2 Pro, this is a physical click in button. So if you accidentally trigger with capacitive controls all the time, probably the model to go for that. And then touching this here, and just going up and down, you can control the volume. It does also support the gestures there too, which is great. Now the difference in weight, there's not much to it with the earbuds themselves. So it's 13.8 grams with the Pro model versus the 12.7 with our OWS 2 here. So the 2 is a little lighter, but do you notice that when you're wearing them? To be honest, not really at all. That difference, they're really about the same in wearing comfort, weight-wise, that is. And let's have a look at the total weight here, two of them. I just mentioned the earbuds before, but the case and everything, the two earbuds, that's 86 grams versus here a little bit heavier, 102 grams, because of course it does have the built-in battery. Now, charge time of the open-ear earbuds is about 2 hours for both of them, and both of these can be run independently, by themselves. So you don't even need the case. You can simply just go, look, this case is too bulky, take those out, take them with you, just get them out of there, and there you go. You've now just reduced your travel weight, and you can fit them just in a pocket a little bit easier there too. And they're just going to operate without even needing that case, which is very good. What about how they sound? Is there a difference in the audio quality? There is, and it's noticeable between both of them. So as I mentioned before, we've got 16.5 millimeter drivers versus 23 millimeters by 10. So they're rectangular versus the circular size. And they do have a bit of a distinct difference in bass in the lows. I've noticed the Pros certainly put out a little bit more bass. The mids are slightly different. So they've got a very different tune to them out of the box, both of them with the default equalizer. I've been swapping back and forth. Now, not to say that these are bad. No, not at all. I think the OWS 2 still put out a decent amount of bass, still sound very good for this style of earbud. And the main thing you get out of them is just their comfort. Wearing them, so good. Both of them, nothing in your ear, of course, so your ears can breathe. And they might even be good for people that like to sleep with them, although this part here that goes over or around your ear might put a bit of pressure on them if you're lying on the side there too with that, but they're just so much healthier to wear, and I can wear them for long extended periods. So for me, it is definitely the Pro model that sounds superior just for the bass, the mids, different tune, but overall both of them, you can't really go wrong with the way they do sound, I think is excellent for this style of earbud. Here is our application now. So this is called Oladance. Now you can get this for iOS and for Android, which I am using right now. So I'm showing here just the OWS Pro because I can only use just one at a time. I can't have them paired up both there because it's just going to be a little bit complicated. But really, it's essentially the same with the OWS 2 Pro, that it's got the same layout to it and features and functions. So here you can see that you can tap this. You can customize your controls there for single tap, double tap, triple tap. So, for example, a double tap, I've got it set to next previous, which is by default. Now, I could say, no, I want that to be volume up and down, but I prefer just to use the gestures for that. You've got the controls there for music, and then for call too. You have different settings, so you can customize that, which is good because a lot of brands don't actually offer this. So if I tap in the middle here, that is the focus mode. This is for the Pro model here that has this. And then here you got your equalizer settings. Now you can adjust this. Sorry, that's just come up a little bit slow there for me. So pure voice, surging bass, default, you have the different equalizers, or you can go into customize there. So you've got your typical equalizer. You can go and adjust that. So if you want a little bit more bass, just bring those lows up there. You prefer to have the mids up a bit, you can tweak that. So again, very good to see we've got this option. Then tapping here, we do have more settings there for them. So you can see the device, the battery, focus mode. Basically what we've already looked at is all there, and just a few other bits and pieces in there. So it's a straightforward application, and yes, there are firmware updates too for these models. If needed, they do push those out. And how about our latency then? This can often be an issue with Bluetooth earbuds. Well, they're good here. We're running Bluetooth 5.3 and everything's in time with the Actors mouse here. This is Band of Brothers that I'm streaming over Netflix, and it is good. It's fine for that. The only time you notice the latency out of both of these, they are the same, is if you're gaming, you may notice it's out by just a fraction of a second. But the good thing is, all streaming video, to me, seems absolutely fine with my Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra.
Over to our microphone samples now. So first up, this is the OWS Pro expensive model. And now I will test out the OWS 2s. Now a sample with the OWS 2. So this is the cheaper model, and I think that the microphones don't quite sound as good as the OWS Pros.
So what about our comfort and fit? I'm wearing now the OWS Pro, and they are good. They are very comfortable, so I can run, jog, jump up and down. Right now, these are not going to go anywhere. The fit is absolutely solid, the way it hooks on over my ear, and very comfortable too as well. So that, as I mentioned, is the Pro model that I have on now. I'm going to go and swap over to the OWS 2s. So with the OWS 2s on, the comfort is really about the same to me. I'm not noticing really that much of a difference at all. But if I was to select one, I would say it is the Pro model that is slightly more comfortable because it's just a little bit more rounded, the design of them. But again, it's not going to go anywhere. These will not come off. You can jump, you can run, do all of that, and they're just going to stay put. They are very comfortable and, of course, designed to be worn for this kind of stuff, for being out active, jogging, walking, running, not a problem. So as I showed you, they are both very easy to put on. So they simply just slot over your ears. You give them a bit of a turn like that, and there they are. They're in place. They are not going anywhere, as I demonstrated with the little run test that I just did. And really comfortable. That's the main thing. I mean, these are just so comfortable. I can wear these for hours on end. Normally, it's around about the 2-hour mark with in-ears that I feel that I'm getting a bit of fatigue out of them, a bit of pressure. They're just slightly uncomfortable, and I want to take them off. Even over-ear headphones, they apply a bit of pressure, and eventually you get the heat build up and they're uncomfortable. Well, this never happens with these. Because of the open ear design and style to them, there's nothing in your ear canal. Your ears can breathe. You can hear background noises. They're a lot more healthier too as well. And both of them put out a surprising amount of bass too. So the controls on them being slightly different. The capacitive touch I find is a bit easier to trigger with the OWS 2s. So that's one of their positives. The other is the OWS 2s have a longer run time on a single charge. 19 hours, up to 19 hours versus 16 with the Pro model. But that is really about where it ends, apart from the price. These are a lot cheaper. So the OWS 2s are the cheaper model. But for me, it is the Pro model that I would go for. I think it's worthwhile spending that little bit extra because you get a slightly more comfortable, more ergonomic design. You get the better sound quality, better bass, slightly better microphones, and the case, well, you don't have to use it. It's quite handy because it's got a built-in battery to it. So it gives us in total 58 hours compared to if you just went out and you didn't take your charger with you, you get the 19, up to 19 with the OWS 2s, but the OWS Pro here, you get the 16 hours, and then in total with the case, 58, so that is unmatched there. So yes, they are a little bit more expensive, but I do really think it is worthwhile. So thank you so much for watching this comparison review of the Oladance OWS 2s versus the OWS Pros.